We'll call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. There was lots of chatter, so I want to acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, and the land on which we are meeting is the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Red River Métis Nation. As a council and a municipality, we will continue to work on moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I'll ask for a motion for the adoption of the minutes, please.
Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held at City Hall on September 22nd, 2025 be adopted as circulated.
Moved by Councillor Nichols, second by Councillor Meyer. All those in favor? And that is carried. We have one delegation this evening. If you would like to come to the podium, we'll welcome our Communities in Bloom delegation.
Good evening. I am Kathy McFarland, and we have Colby Orchard here from Southport, and we also have Dean Rennie here from Southport, representing the Communities in Bloom organization. I'm probably not going to give you any new information today because the media has been doing a really great job at getting the story out there, and we think that's a good thing because, sometimes it happens that it's not always the good news that gets out here, but boy, we've got good news again. We combined together as a group with our application this year. And so the city of Portage combined with Southport. We had to ask for special permission from Manitoba Communities in Bloom. And that actually is a very unique situation because we've got a city or municipality that is combined with a nonprofit corporation. First time that's ever happened in Canada. So we're breaking ground here in our area. So you all got the evaluation. And so it's, again, no surprise that we won 5 blooms again, which is the highest rating you can get. In the past, in comparison to the last year, we increased 2% in our score. So we are improving, even though we're still functioning at the top. And there was very few recommendations, but we're very pleased to say that some of the things that they noted to us before, such as tidying up our roundabouts and some of the public spaces, they really noticed that. One of the judges had been here a prior year and noticed that. Very interested in the Saskatchewan Avenue project because one or both of the judges had seen that progression over the years, seen it before it started, midterm, and now the end. And we know we'll have lots of things to show them next year, too, with the beautiful mural across the street and the new hospital grounds, which is looking pretty beautiful. And they even had guys out there when I went by laying sod at this time of night. So looks very nice. This is an accumulation of efforts. If anybody thinks I run this, I don't. It's so many organizations. We're very happy for PCRC, who's our lead funder and our coordinator. Happy that the city is very supportive of us, particularly Joe Massey and Terry Porter are very supportive of the beautification efforts, but I know you all are. And it does take a team, and it takes a team all on the same page. Holiday Avenue project, sports teams, so many people are engaged in our community, and I think that's really evident when they come here. I think that one of the things that we would like you to consider is the National Communities in Bloom has done some surveys, and they find that when a community actually publishes what they are doing for Communities in Bloom, it encourages people to come into their city. So there are cities and municipalities across Canada who have put up signs saying 5 bloom winner. I don't know exactly what the rules are for highway signs anymore, but your Explore Portage la Prairie sign that you have on several sides of the city has slide-ins. And I remember in past that the Potato Festival used to put up some signage. So we'd like you to consider publicizing that we're a 5 Bloom Communities in Bloom winner. And I've also been talking with Southport about something that we can do together there. We will present a certificate at the end, but I want to actually pass this over to Kobe to talk about Southport's effort in this.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us here today. And I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our results from the Communities in Bloom project. And then also on behalf of Southport, I'd also like to thank the Portage Committee for allowing us to be a part of their extremely successful bid for the program this year. I'm pleased that we didn't take away from what this has been in the past, and I'm very proud that we were able to augment the bid that went in this year and support our community as a whole. From our experience, this process was a well-oiled machine from day one to the evaluation to the conference that just took place. And it's a committee that we're really proud to be a part of and hope to continue to be in the future. So as a result of the evaluation, there were a number of recommendations. Right now, we're putting that into our planning and looking at how we can augment our bid for Communities in Bloom in future years. So thanks again, and thanks to the existing committee for having us be a part of it this year.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. No question. I just want to, being in Gimli when you won the award, congratulate both of you and Mr. Rennie here as well. Great presentation by Southport, and I was quite proud to be there. And when you got that, it's we all feel very proud of our communities, but to stand up there, and I think we got the highest award in Manitoba. So congratulations, and I just felt good to be a member of council being there to support you on that.
Excellent. Councillor Porter.
Thank you, Your Worship. And Kathy, we are so incredibly proud to be recognized for those 5 blooms. I think that this achievement not only reflects the dedication and hard work of our residents, our volunteers, our city staff and community organizations, the ones who take pride in making our city a cleaner and a greener and more welcoming place to live. So thanks to everyone that helped showcase our community and our community spirit and your beautification efforts. We're so proud to be part of this, to be involved with the Communities in Bloom, and I thank you every year for the invitation.
Thank you. Just a comment. I'm really happy to hear your comments about the roundabouts in Saskatchewan Avenue, because honestly, that was a financial investment this year with the weeding, like specifically for it, because we knew that it was a concern for us. So happy to hear that outsiders noticed it, not just us, and really happy to, I know as the city, we are making lots of enhancements, like our beautiful mural, like our green space, enhancements, our McKay playground, which will all be part of your next year's bid. So we're excited to be involved in that. But congratulations on all your achievements and coordinating it. Thank you. Oh, sure.
I have the certificate. Can I just bring it
Sure.
over to you?
Sure. Terry, Joe, you guys were mentioned by name, so you better get up here. Well, we better. I guess we might as well.
I have no thoughts.
Here.
We'll let the mayor direct us.
Come on in here.
Should he? Yeah. Dean. Dean, come on.
Did the presentation.
I'm just gonna put this down.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Okay, We will open public hearing for second and third reading of bylaw 25-8783, zoning amendment PC 42-25, Sandu at 653 3rd Street Northeast. I'll ask if there is anyone here to speak in favor of the application. Great. So you're here to speak in favor of the application?
Speak in favor of it and advise and give any information about the development. I'm the designer of the units that we're
Perfect.
proposing.
What's your name?
Brian Mansky,
Brian Mansky. Do M-A-N.
S-K-Y.
Perfect. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. So what we have put together here is a 2-story, 8-unit multifamily. They're 2-bedroom units that will comfortably fit, I believe, on the site that we have. Now, one thing that has not come up until this time was you guys haven't seen a site plan of the proposed development, have you? Because
No.
I had done 2 other buildings on this, but I don't know where they ended up in space or whatever. So I did bring a few extra copies with me. So if we're going to discuss something, we can pass these around. There's not enough for everybody because I didn't know how many people would be here, but I think you can share a few of the copies. So whoever needs the information as to how we're planning on situating this building there.
Did you have any more statement to make, or you just want to answer questions?
I can just answer questions to whatever's here. I can just state that we've provided the 8 units, 2-bedroom units, and 10 parking spaces and a pad space for garbage container. Left what is some pretty generous side yards, a reasonable backyard, and it's kind of a close front yard. But on the front yard side, on the 3rd street, we've got an 8-foot setback, and we have really just 2 entries coming in off of that area. All the other entries are in the sides and back of the building. Each side of the building has entries into specific units. So that's 8 units with private entries.
Oh, for every unit?
Every unit has a private entry.
Okay.
And every unit has a balcony, a covered balcony.
Yep.
And that,
Mr. Mansky, just make sure you're into the microphone there.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
it's over here. It
Yeah.
went under my armpit.
There you go. Yeah. Does
Yeah.
anybody have questions of Mr. Mansky? Councillor Doyle?
Through your worship, to the presenter. How many stories did you say?
It's 2 stories.
2 stories. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'll just make sure that before, as we go on for public hearing, that remember this is a zoning amendment, so we don't need to get too deep into the rest.
Thank you very much, and that's, I was just going to remind council again, we're voting just on the zoning tonight, and we'll get into that when we get to the report to council. But I do have a question, and I'm sorry, it was Mr.
Mansky.
Mansky. Thank you so much. And this is the first time I've seen the drawings, although I'm not getting into any of that deep stuff.
Oh, they're
now.
very fresh.
The question I actually have is, will this fit into the current, if council does approve it, will this fit into the current R3 without any variance requests?
I haven't seen what the requests through the variance have been. If there is any requests for variances on setbacks, that would be the main one that I see that this would pop into. We're low enough into the ground that we're not a tall building. We've got 10 parking spaces if that works with the zoning bylaw, or if we're short by 1 or something. And then it's really just a question of what the setbacks are. And it would be, in what I'm looking at, it's just the front yard and the rear yard setback, because the sides are, it would exceed whatever the bylaw has.
So maybe I'll just double check with Mr. Gessel
That was
if he
my
had
next,
any
my
comments.
next question.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that the planning district may know that there might be a variance required for this specific plan?
Mr. Gessel?
Thank you. So at this point, we don't have any requirements. This is the first that we've seen of the plan. We did have discussions, or I should say my staff did have discussions with the applicant in-house about possible eightplex, but since we're dealing with the rezoning at this point, we haven't moved forward with any evaluation of size or variances that would be required.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mansky. We may call you if there's more questions, but. Okay, I'll ask if there is anyone else here in favor of the application. Again, anyone else to speak in favor of the application? I will ask if there is anyone to speak against the application. We'll just go we'll start with one at a time. Or who, are you speaking for everyone? You were the spokesperson. Okay, could you please state your name for the record?
Valerie Burke.
Burke.
Correct. Thank you and good evening. As a homeowner on Thackeray Avenue for over 30 years, I object to the rezoning from R1 to R3. This area should stay as a single-family homes. In reference to 10.3 infill development, patterns of the street, they're all single homes. General size of the lots, they're all single homes. Heights, massing, scale, and type of a dwelling unit that could be compatible, they're still all single homes, and so on. All single homes that reinforce the general physical patterns and character of our neighborhood. A petition was signed by myself and 38 neighbors in the immediate area objecting to the rezoning. I hope that you listen to the taxpayers in our neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'll ask if anyone else is here to speak against this application. I'll ask, we do have some letters of objection for record.
Yes, there were 4 letters of objection received, and council did receive them and had time to review them. But here is a summary of what was in the letters. So residents emphasize that the area is a long-standing, peaceful, family-oriented neighborhood comprised of single-family homes. They believe that introducing an 8-unit apartment building would disrupt the established character and be visually out of place. Concerns include loss of privacy for adjacent homes due to balconies and windows, increased noise, and general disruption to the quiet atmosphere. Increased traffic and congestion on a narrow street, as well as insufficient parking for a multi-unit building, are cited as major issues. Residents fear a decline in property values due to the proximity and scale of the proposed development. Objections highlight that the area is zoned for single-family homes and that there are already other multifamily developments elsewhere in the city. Issues such as increased building height, building coverage, decreased side yards, increased parking, and rainwater runoff onto adjacent properties are mentioned. Several letters note that residents have not seen detailed plans for the proposed development and request that council members personally visit the site before making a decision. And preference for a smaller scale development such as single-family home or duplex to maintain the neighborhood's character is preferred. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask if anyone is here who just has questions about the application. Council, before we close public hearing, does anybody have any questions of anyone who spoke? Councillor Massey?
Thank you, Worship. Just a question to Mr. Mansky.
Mr. Mansky, if you could come to the podium, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. It was mentioned in some of the letters. At this point, there hasn't really, these are recent, you said, these drawings and things, but up to now, you have not had any discussions, or the proponent, the developer, has not had any discussions with the people around there on the plans and sort of what was being
No, we
proposed?
haven't presented anything. This has been going through into the rezoning process. We haven't done any community information meetings.
Thank you.
Okay. There's one thing
Okay.
I could add.
Sure.
You could subdivide this down into 25-foot lots, put up 4 single-family houses with secondary suites, and we would still have 8 units.
Thank you.
And it would be considered single-family.
Any other questions? Just so council's aware too, that you have seen the signatures of objection in your package? Perfect. Okay. I'll ask for a motion to close public hearing 25-8783. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Be it resolved, and I so move that the public hearing for bylaw 25-8783 zoning amendment PC 42-25 for Sandu at 653 3rd Street Northeast now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. All those in favor? That is carried. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. As soon as I find my report. Okay, Council. This tonight is a rezoning application, is for second and third reading. First reading took place back in August the 11th, which commenced the process as defined in the Planning Act and considering the application. Since first reading, we've seen that there's been 4 letters of objection. 39 people signed 1 letter of objection for the proposed rezoning scheme. And then you heard the speaker in against it tonight as well. And of course, some of the people who signed the group letter have also submitted their own letter as well. Documents were circulated to provincial departments and agencies with no objections. Provincial planning recommended approval of zoning bylaw amendment number 25-873. And just to back the bus up a bit, this of course is a rezoning application only. And again, and I know council is very well aware of it, but all we're doing at this point, we're not approving any kind of development plan or any kind of building that goes on there. If it is rezoned from R1 to R3, obviously anything that can fit within the capacity of R3 without a variation or a conditional use request can be done. It does change the structure, of course, of the actual lot size itself. I have no reason to not believe, although this is the first time I've seen the development plan, but I have no reason not to believe that that is exactly what the applicant intends to put on there. Again, with the caveat that anything that will fit in an R3 can actually go there. So we're allowed to give second reading in a couple of situations. One, when there's no objections at the public meeting, council may give the bylaw second and third reading. Doesn't fit into that. Under Section 77, sufficient objections are received. Council may give the bylaw a second reading and then must provide notice to all objectors. Or 3, under Section 73(1), amending a zoning bylaw to be sufficient for the purpose of applying different sections. Objections must be received from at least 25 eligible persons or a total of 50% of the total number of owners of property located within 100 meters of the affected property. Council also has the option to make major changes to the bylaw, and they may also pass a resolution not to proceed with the bylaw. So those certainly are our options. With that said, I don't need to review the whole thing. There's been no changes since the original first reading. So with that said, and it's the administrative recommendation, and I so move, that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the application to rezone the land known as 653 3rd Street Northeast and legally described as lots 327, 328, Plan 29, Parish of Portage la Prairie from R1, or residential single-family zone, to R3, residential multiple-family zone, and that bylaw number 25-8783 be read a second time.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. Does council have any questions or comments? Councillor Nichols?
Thank you, Your Worship. Can I ask a question in regards to this zoning, in terms of, maybe I pose my question to planning through Your Worship, in terms of conceptual, I know that it can go, how much higher can this go if zoned R3? Is that something that I'm fair to ask and to understand in terms of the building height?
Mr. Gessel?
Yep, I can look that up for you right now if you want, right out of the bylaw for you.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Your Worship.
We'd be looking at 9.1 meters, which would be the height allowance of other uses, which would fit into that if we're looking at an 8-plex. So anything above that would require a variance.
So that's 30 feet. So could it be a 3-story or no? I guess so, really?
It could be close.
Could be close.
Two-story would fit within that height.
Yeah.
Like I said, as far as Aplex does a lot, support it, absolutely. But as far as variances, we wouldn't know that until an application was set forward for the actual layout of the building and the parking.
Councillor Nichols? Anyone else? Questions or comments? Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Your Worship. Excuse me. Just a couple of things. I think, as everybody knows, sitting in this chair for the number of years that I've sat it, I'm fairly passionate about the development plans within our city. We know that we're a growing and developing city, and we know that we need housing in a variety of different areas. As one councillor sitting around the table, I strongly believe that strong communities isn't the North End or Cocoa Platts or the West End or the South End. It's the community of Portage la Prairie. And welcoming, successful communities have a variety of things, and they have a well balance, whether that be in a combination of R1, R2, R3 housing specifically. I will be supporting this motion. I do want to stress again, I have read through the letters. I've driven that area. In fact, I paced off the actual lot size. In addition to looking at what an R3 could be put on there and without these development plans into consideration. And I'm comfortable that if somebody was to put up anything bigger than what I just got presented tonight, I'm probably against the variances. That it has to fit within that footprint, and it has to be, again, within the development plan that fits within the neighborhood. And I get it that they're single housing family units. Our city boundaries aren't growing. We don't have any more land. We don't have any way to get outside of our boundaries. That's the RM. So we're going to have to make some serious decisions to allow, as long as it fits within the development plan and the housing and everything else, to really let our city grow. And part of that is through multifamily units. I live in the downtown core. I have multifamily units around my area. I've never seen a loss of property values and so on. I'm not disagreeing with the objectors in these letters, but I think it's serious to note that I take every one of those letters seriously, but I also have to outweigh the needs of this community and the needs of the housing that we have. So I passionately say I got to support this for that reason, and that what fits into that area. If you look at our zoning map, there's R3s dotted right throughout the entire community. It's not specifically one area and can't be specifically one area for R3 housing. I think that's what makes a healthy community. That's all I wanted to passionately plead about, Madam Mayor, and for that reason, I will be supporting this second reading of the rezoning application.
Thank you.
But I may not support the variances.
There aren't any yet.
Well,
so
not
you
yet.
have-
That's what I-
Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. I always welcome development within our city, and housing is one of those developments that we see. In this particular case, we have 4 letters of objection, and 39 people signing, 1 letter of objection, and I think that as a council, we have a duty to our citizens who have built the neighborhood and who do live in the area. Now, I drove past the area. I don't know how many houses are within a 100-meter radius, but 39 signatures is a fair amount of people within that 100-meter radius. And so for that reason, I won't be supporting this application.
Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. In terms, I have a question, if possible, and I know that Mr. Sandhu, is he got a
You
rep?
can't ask him a question, though.
In terms
Sorry.
of that property, has he purchased that piece of property, or is this subject to? Is that a question I can pose at this time, or no?
No, the public hearing's closed,
Okay,
so,
thank you.
sorry, yeah.
Okay. I've driven the property. I've looked at it. I know that, and I'm so welcome to development within Portage la Prairie, and of different types and sizes. I really struggle with the part, and that maybe it's me in terms of the rezoning piece, and then when we open up to a 3, then we're kind of out of control in terms of what it is that we can put to that piece and to fit into the neighborhood. And as Councillor Meyer has eloquently put, that the variances could be a whole nother question at this point. I think that that area, I look at Thackeray and the width of the street and the parking that is kind of, I'm taking is probably going to happen onto Thackeray Avenue for the parking. I'm worried about that aspect and the corner being there, and the general size of the lot itself, and also the positioning of where it is in terms of daycares being close and what have you and whatnot. I also I enjoy the comments on Councillor Doyle's part about the ratio of folks and letters and the amount of signatures, and I just feel at this time I'm not going to be able to support the rezoning, and for those reasons that I just that's how I feel, and I will not be supporting this at this time. Thank you, Worship.
Councillor Porter, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Your Worship. One of the things I wasn't sure with, and I don't know if I can ask this question, to whether that house on that lot is going to exist, or is that part of it?
That we don't know, and unless planning can answer, we can't ask.
The house that would be on the lot would have to be demolished.
Okay. That's part of the
in
lot.
order to have anything built there, it would have to be demolished.
Okay. Thank you. I can say at this point here that just from what I saw or when I took a look, and thinking that maybe the most it would be a 2-story, that is about all that I would think that could happen on that lot. Anything higher than that's just just not too ambitious. And however, having said that, that area is a very nice area. It's a well looked after area, but you know, like vacant lots like that aren't always looked after very well. But in this particular case, it's to me, that area needs something. It needs growth, and it needs people in that neighborhood. And I think the lot, by looking at the lot, appears that it would fit something like the 8-plex, or I wouldn't say a 3-story, but possibly a 2-story. But that's the biggest fear I have, is that it could go into a 3-story. Correct? We don't know that, right, in the R3, so without a variance. So, but having said that, I truly believe in all the ones that we've looked into the past. This is one that I think would fit as to 8-plex, so I'm going to support this in this case.
Just a couple of comments that I have is, I think as council, we really have to look around and look at other things that we've approved in the last while and also didn't approve in the last while. Recently, we had a situation that it didn't get approved, and I can tell you that my reasoning for not approving that was about street size, was about traffic flow, those are the reasons that I did not support that last application. Housing is important to our community, and most of the people around this table, I would love to say that we have these empty lots that, you know, people can pick up at a good price where they can build a brand new house on them. But with our real estate prices right now, that's really not happening. We're not seeing lots of single family infill developments. I understand communities and neighborhoods being concerned about increased, you know, a building like this in their neighborhood, but a beautiful new building in your neighborhood with more people in your neighborhood, I don't think has proven that it brings any property values down. I think it actually proves that it increases property values. I just want us to be very cautious when we're making these decisions and understanding that we are going to see change in housing in our community, and that whether it's duplexes, multiplexes into single-family neighborhoods. It's what's happening throughout Portage la Prairie, throughout everywhere, because we do need options for housing for people. And why not give people options for housing in beautiful neighborhoods? And this is one of them. And I agree. I've driven by the lot. I do feel that, you know, there's been other ones that we've seen that we've already approved in the past and seen built that on lots smaller than this. So I just want us to be cautious when we're making these decisions. So. Okay. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Worship. I'll be supporting this. I think I went by the lot as well, and you know, these are always tough decisions. But I'm going to say, Mr. Mansky and the developer, please talk to the people around there once this gets going, because, as was said, this is not approving anything built yet there, and there's different options. You've thrown one out about maybe
Into your mic there, Mr. Massey.
Sorry, geez, I'm usually pretty loud. Sorry. So I really encourage you to do that. I will support the change, but I think you need to dialogue with the neighbors there, see what their concerns are, what you can address, and hopefully, as Councillor Meyer said, we'll see the details if there's variances required.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Your Worship. And that bylaw number 258783 be read a third time, finally passed, signed, and sealed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, we will open public hearing. Request for variation PC 58-25, Elwood McCrory. I'll just give a second here. Okay, we'll ask if there is anyone here to speak in favor of this application.
I will be available to answer any questions on this one.
Thank you. I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak against this application. I'll ask if anyone is here with questions on this application. Does anyone have any questions of Ms. Lequi-Jobin before we move forward? Okay. I'll ask for a motion to close this public hearing. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Worship. Be it resolved, and I so move that the Council of... How about we close it first? Be resolved, and I so move that the public hearing for variation PC 58-25 for Elwood McCrory Limited and the City of Portage la Prairie at 450 3rd Street Northwest now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. All those in favor? And that's carried. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Worship. And this actually, I don't think it's conflict, but the applicant is the City of Portage la Prairie. And the issue is to vary the minimum front yard requirement of 15.2 meters down to 2 meters, and we are into OR, or open space recreational zone. So on behalf of the City of Portage la Prairie, Elwood McCrory is applying for a variation order to vary the minimum front yard requirement. The applicant would like to build a washroom at Simplot Park. The application has been circulated to the various city departments with no concerns. Public notices have been sent to all property owners within a 100-meter radius. With that said, it's the administrative recommendation, and I so move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the variation request of Elwood McCrory Limited on behalf of the City of Portage la Prairie to vary the minimum front yard requirement of 15.2 meters down to 2 meters in an OR, or open space recreational zone, at the property known as 450 3rd Street Northwest, which is legally described as lots 183/190, Plan 73 in the parish of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. Any questions or comments? Councillor Doyle?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm definitely in favor of a washroom at Simplot Central Park. This is the first time I believe this has come in front of us where the city has been the applicant. So I'm just wondering, what is the process on something like this? I trust we're following it. Because I've never seen it before, if I could just get a little background on what the process is in a case like this, so there is no conflict.
Ms. Chakota?
Through your worship to Councillor Doyle, yeah, it's pretty well the same as it would be for any other public hearing. We're bringing it forward. It's publicly circulated, so people have an opportunity to raise their concerns if there are any, and then council makes a decision on it as they would with any other application.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I think one thing that it points out is that the city can't willy-nilly do whatever we want, right? We follow under the same regulations, so yeah.
Correct.
Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Your Worship. And I know the city's a third party in this case. I just want to say that it's obviously I'll be supporting it. I think as we continue to put investment into, again, I don't want to call it the North End. It's just part of Portage la Prairie, as every other area in Portage is a part of Portage la Prairie. So to see a bathroom and at a public park, specifically with a splash pad and all of the things and so on, I think is really good for that area as well. So I will certainly be supporting the motion. Thank you.
Great. Councillor Espy?
Thank you, Worship. I really struggled with this. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. Now, had somebody shown up and really objected to the variance and wanted it moved within, so it didn't need that, we would be having a different discussion. But I think we're all welcoming the continuing development of Simplot Central Park, and I obviously will be supporting it.
Thank you. Okay. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Finance, Legislative and Property Committee, Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. Finance, Legislative and Property Committee has no report in this part of the meeting.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development Committee, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. City Planning and Economic Development Committee has nothing to report at this point in the meeting.
Thank you. Community Services Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Community Services Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. Waterworks Committee, Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. Waterworks Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. Transportation Committee, Councillor Porter.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have in front of me a report from Administration Operations with regards to the Crescent Lake update and the purchaser of the weed harvester. So we need to consider the options being considered for the vegetation control for the Crescent Lake. So the background behind this is due to the province of Manitoba and Fisheries and Oceans Canada placing restrictions on the herbicide use in water bodies. Administration has been investigating alternatives for vegetation control in the Crescent Lake. A summary of the options have been considered as well as budgetary estimates are below. Pricing is based on vegetation removal in the areas where reward herbicide was previously sprayed. First option is purchasing a harvester. And that's based on the work that was done this summer. It is anticipated that two machines would be needed, and these machines would need to run for approximately 8 weeks, though this would vary by year. An additional seasonal employee would also be required, as well as a rental of an excavator and a truck for approximately 80 hours. The cost to purchase the machines would approximately be $480,000, and the yearly operating cost would be approximately $80,000. This would include an additional seasonal employee in public works, as well as equipment rentals for loading and hauling of the plant material. These machines could also be used to clean other waterways in the city. The estimated budgetary impact of these additional operating costs is projected to result in a tax increase for homeowners of approximately 0.42% based on the 2026 preliminary fall assessment. For residential property assessed at $250,000, this equates to an estimated annual increase of $9.50 a year. Second option would be a harvesting contractor. And based on the prices from this year, where a smaller area was cleared, The cost would be approximately $300,000 a year to do the full area. Third option is nutrient removal. There are a couple of different ways to remove nutrients, and this method has the added benefit of also substantially reducing algae. Lake Water Nutrient Capture Limited has proposed doing a trial where they would remove a large portion of the nutrients in the lake using a proprietary system. Their proposal was $150,000 for the first year, which would be half of the regular price. Pricing was also received from another company for biological control, but the cost to treat the entire area would make this method infeasible. So the alternatives are, number one, include the amounts in the 2026 budget for the purchase and operation of aquatic harvester, or number two, any direction that council may provide. So it is recommended, and I so move, that the council of the city of Portage la Prairie approve the inclusion of $480,000 in the 2026 budget for the purchase of aquatic harvester and $80,000 a year for operating costs.
Moved by Councillor Porter, seconded by Councillor Espy. Any questions or comments from anyone? Councillor Doyle?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through Your Worship to administration, a question about the harvesting. Do you have to, or do we have to apply for a permit to use the harvesters annually?
Maybe Ms. LaQuille-Jobin can answer that. I know we had permission this year.
So we did apply for a permit for this year. We need to modify the permit slightly, and we need to report each year, but we can get like a, basically, I think we wouldn't need to reapply every year, just give updates. And then I think we need to do a full reapplication after 5 years, but.
Councillor Doyle?
Thank you. Do you know if this is more of a formality just to keep the province abreast of what's happening in our lake, or is there a scenario where we purchase the 2 harvesters and then we can't use them?
That is possible. I wouldn't say it's likely. There's lots of other municipalities that do harvesting and have permit for it. So we wouldn't be the only ones that would run into that issue if they decided to change the rules.
Thank you.
That's good. Councillor Porter?
Okay, I just have a question for administration. So in the past, we have had a harvester. And and then we moved on to the herbicide. Was the original harvesting that we did, was it any different, or something's changed about it? But we're back looking at it now. Was it effective back there with the whole lake, or did we have any problems with the harvester? Or and the reason why I'm also asking this is, why did we change the herbicide, which is no longer allowed?
Ms. LaQuille-Jobin? Yeah.
Yes. So that was done quite a few years ago before I was ever involved in it. But from what I've heard from long-term employees, they did find some issues with the harvester breaking down a lot. With the one harvester, they really only focused on certain areas. They weren't able to do like the large area. They were focusing on areas that were used for boating mainly. It did work for what they were doing it for, but yeah, they weren't able to do the areas that we were able to do with the herbicide.
So in effect, was the herbicide more, would they say the herbicide was more effective afterwards, or is that why we went to the herbicide, or
It was
we couldn't afford a
probably
harvester?
less manpower, and it worked, right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
It was, yeah. Didn't take as long, could do a larger area.
Okay.
There's some benefits with the harvesting over the herbicide, obviously, for removing the nutrient from the lake, where when you use the herbicide, you're not taking anything out, but for just controlling weeds, it worked quite well.
Thank you.
But everybody's aware that herbicide is not an option anymore. Okay, good. Good. Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. I must a comment and maybe a question. Comment firstly, I appreciate so much the work that was done on our lake this year. I know that it was a lot of trial, a lot of work, and you know, hats off to operations, yourself, your crew, and the contractor that was able to you know, do that work and make that lake look like it did this year. I appreciate it very much. It was there was a lot of great comments about how it looked and what was done. Just a quick question. We in our report here, we're purchasing two, and that two as in is it a duty cycle thing, or just to have a spare, or are we going to need two going out once, please?
Yes, so with the type of machine that we're looking at, the machine kind of pushes the weeds out to a location where the excavator can scoop them up. For efficiency, it's best to have at least two machines to make the process go quicker and work better.
And to expand on that, so they're the same type of machines?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Your Worship. I think it's safe to say, and again, though I'm not speaking for anybody else around the table, that we know that the lake is probably the single most unique asset that we have as a community in Portage la Prairie. We know that the herbicide, or whatever we're going to call it, I think it was herbicide, is no longer available to be used. So we have to look at other options. The homework I've done personally by looking at a harvester and in marshland and so on, and being able to get rid of the weeds, I feel is an effective solution. It's not going to be the total solution, but an investment like this into something that I think will be whatever it's going to be as we move forward, whether it's be recreational or just marshland or whatever it is. But I think it's going to really solve the immediate problem that we have of not being able to use the herbicide at this point in time to really control the weeds that we have in there and certainly make it the lake that we want it to be. So for that reason alone, out of all the three, I do support the purchase of the two harvesters. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Public Safety Committee has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. We have no deferred business. We'll move right into new business. We have the approval of application for funding under the Manitoba Growth, Renewal and Opportunities for Municipalities program. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship and colleagues. This evening we're looking at a recommendation to look at applying to the provincial Manitoba's Growth, Renewal and Opportunities program, the GROW program. And as you know, the GROW program, it's an application-based program designed to help municipalities address critical infrastructure needs under themes of renewal, innovation, and climate resiliency. And the program will see an investment up to $42 million. The Manitoba GROW will fund municipalities up to 50% of the total eligible project costs. In 2025, the city partnered with the RM of Portage la Prairie and Southport to evaluate the potential to establish a field house in the region. The three parties committed funding to engage Stantec to develop a conception design of the field house to a Class D level, which will be completed later this year. The project has received overwhelming support from other governments and community groups in the region. And while the project is still in the early stages and is highly dependent on securing external funding, significant external funding, via grants, fundraising, sponsorships, the partners remain committed to continuing to pursue this opportunity. Administration has identified that this project best aligns with the program guidelines and has recommended an application be submitted. And there you see the funding breakdown for the field house. These are preliminary numbers, of course, but your estimated project cost is $20 million. With the $15 million from the city, the RM, and Southport. And of course, our request then would be to the province for $5 million cost sharing. So the recommendation, and I would move, is that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve administration submitting an application to the Province of Manitoba's Growth, Renewal and Opportunities Program for the Fieldhouse project and confirms the funding necessary to proceed with the project.
Moved by Councillor Massey, seconded by Councillor Meyer. Any questions or comments from council? Councillor Massey?
Thank you, Worship and colleagues. I support the recommendation. I think this is an opportunity for the City of Portage la Prairie to really have a bold project. We have a funding pot that we can tap into by the province, and you know, having looked at previous programs, regional projects really sell well with provincial and federal governments. We're coming together as a region to develop an excellent project. This is just allowing the authority of administration to put the application in. There's a lot of work yet to do, but the one thing I do know about the City of Portage and the things that we do is we're always there ready to be a partner in funding, and which we've done in the past and showed. We're always at the table ready for do projects, and that our community comes together to do fundraising, sponsorships. We've seen it over and over. So I'm very pleased to support this. I think this is going to be, and hopefully the province will come through with their share of the funding, but I think it has all the makings of an exciting project for Portage la Prairie, and I'm pleased to support this.
Excellent. Just so everybody knows, maybe people watching online that don't understand, a field house is an indoor recreation facility. And you know, you see them in many other communities, which take some of the recreation opportunities that maybe happen in our climate to all year opportunities, which we've seen that people in our community are leaving our region to go do throughout the year. It's kind of the next phase in our recreation in our region. So we're excited about this project, and lots of excitement from the supporters of this, whether it's user groups, and always great to see when a regional project is put forward with partners. So all those in favor? And that is carried. Okay, new business, MWSB annual capital budget increase lobbying effort. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Worship and colleagues. This evening we are looking to get our approval to support an effort, a province-wide advocacy effort to increase the Manitoba Water Services Board annual capital budget from $24 million to $100 million in response to the critical oversubscription of water and wastewater infrastructure projects across Manitoba municipalities. The background on this is currently the Water Services Board operates with an annual budget of $24 million, which when combined with municipal cost sharing delivers approximately $50 million in water and sewer infrastructure annually. In 2025, the Water Services Board received 346 project applications from 103 municipalities and water cooperatives, excluding Winnipeg. This is strictly for communities outside of Winnipeg, with a total estimated cost of $1.35 billion. This means the board is oversubscribed by a factor of 56 times relative to its current budget. It's quite mind-blowing, isn't it? Many municipalities lack the technical and financial capacity to manage government-funded water and wastewater projects, relying heavily on the Water Services Board expertise and staffing. The lobbying effort, spearheaded by the arm of Cartier, aims to secure council resolutions from at least 100 municipalities by October 15th, 2025, to collectively advocate for increased funding and staffing at Manitoba Water Services Board. So the recommended resolution, and you can see it there, I'll just read the resolve part. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie fully supports an immediate annual increase to the Water Services Board's capital budget beginning in 2026 to $100 million from its current $24 million.
Moved by Councillor Massey, seconded by Councillor Meyer. Any questions or comments? Councillor Massey?
Thank you, Worship. I fully support this recommendation. You can clearly see, and AMM has done a lot of work on this, the backlog of water and sewer and wastewater. And It's an amazing amount of dollars that we are behind in that area. So I fully support this. At the federal level, I can also tell you that this is a huge, as well, backlog of work needed. And what we've said all along, you can't build housing without water and infrastructure. You can't build a house if you can't flush a toilet. And this is what we need, is more funding. And that's why there's a dedicated stream at the federal level for water and wastewater, which we are applying to under the federal CHIF program. But the other thing I do want to mention, Your Worship, is really nice about this resolution. It really goes to the Water Services Board. And I had the opportunity to sit on that board for 8 years. And I can tell you two things. One, they have a very good understanding of municipalities' needs. As the report said, they help with technical help for municipalities. You know, some small municipalities can't manage these big projects. And the one thing I can say about them that I've learned is they put dollars out the door quickly. They are not a lot of red tape there. They put money out, and if you give them money, I can assure you, having been on that board, they will get dollars out quickly. So this is a great resolution, a great opportunity to collectively tell the province we need more money for water and wastewater in this province. So I support the recommendation. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Next item of new business, August financial statements. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Worship. These are the August 31, 2025 statements for your information. It's just for your information. If there's any questions, administration, I'm sure, can answer them, but you'll be getting a more detailed look at financials and year-end in the coming months. So this is just for your information.
Thank you. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Next item of new business, community grants policy. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship and colleagues. The next item, this is to present the rationale and intent behind the proposed community grants policy, which aims to establish a structured, transparent, and equitable framework for evaluating and approving grant requests submitted by community organizations. Historically, the city has received a variety of grant requests from nonprofit community-based organizations. These requests often exceed the available resources and are submitted through both regular budget cycles and in-year appeals. The absence of a formalized policy could lead to inconsistencies in how grants are reviewed and approved. The proposed policy addresses the gap by introducing clear guidelines for council and administration to follow, ensuring that decisions are made fairly, consistently, and in alignment with municipal priorities. The policy provides details regarding the application process, review and approval process for both the regular application intake period and in-year requests, conflicts of interest, canceled events, and the appropriate use of funds. Council's adoption of the policy will formalize the existing practices, addresses gaps, and enhance the integrity of the grant approval process. And it's recommended that the Council of the City of Portage, and I would move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie adopt policy AC-B1 community grants, which is attached to the report. Thank you, Your Worship.
Moved by Councillor Massey, seconded by Councillor Meyer. Any questions or comments? Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. I first of all want to thank staff, administration for putting this together. Since I've been on council, I think we've done a pretty good job with community grants. It's a great program. It helps. I've seen firsthand the help that it gives our community organizations. But there is a gap there. Sometimes we struggle with money is returned, the project doesn't go ahead. The policy is going to outline all that. It outlines conflict of interest. So if any of us or administration have a conflict of interest on a grant, we excuse ourselves from that process. It very clearly will tell the public that we have no say in that when there's a conflict. It really outlines the policy. So when we sit around, and I think last year it was about $2.6 million of money that we put into our community organizations, that they know that we've had due diligence and done it in a good and transparent manner, which is their money. So we want to make sure of that. So I commend, this is something I think council asked for, and I want to congratulate staff, administration for putting this together. I think it'll go a long way this year when we approach the community grants. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay. Next item of new business, proposal to subdivide Lot 1, Plan 1809 in River, Lot 107, Riverbend Orchard, City Planning, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. In front of you is the report to council in regards to a subdivision. Now, when you get into the report, it can be just a little bit confusing. I do have one question of clarification, but I will run through it. Simply, at the end of the day, there is a piece of land that currently right now is zoned AL, or a limited agricultural zone. The applicant wishes to subdivide it. And if you click on the map, you're going to see into 2 lots. Because it's in currently an AL, there's specific measurements that the lots have to apply to. I'll get through the report and then I'll make the motion, then I'll ask the question of clarification there, Your Worship. So quite simply, the applicant, Philip Ronald, proposes to subdivide this section of property on behalf of the registered owner, creating one new 20,300 square meter residential lot. The residential portion of the yard site located at 100 Bridge Road is no longer required as part of the existing specialized agricultural operation. The proposed Lot 1 is wooded, contains a dwelling, septic field, and greenhouses, and includes no cultivated land. The proposed Lot 2 contains 2 agriculture buildings, is mostly cleared and cultivated, and it currently is a fruit orchard. Lot 1 is serviced by pipe water, sewage holding tank, and septic field, and a shared driveway provides access to the old bridge road for both lots. The parcel is a flood risk area of concern, but has agricultural capability ratings of Class 2 and 7. The applicant intends to retain the proposed Lot 1 for residential use, and then Lot 2 will remain for the agriculture, which is currently the fruit orchard. The development plan is there, of course, for your reference. Talks a little bit about rural residential and then gets into limited agricultural zone. The next page goes on to talk about the classification. It talks about what the minimum lot sizes need to be and what they're requesting. So in order for this to happen, there would have to be some variances that would be allowed, which will form part of the motion. And there's also some comments from the land titles that would require a plan of subdivision. Manitoba Hydro, of course, would require easements. And then the Portage la Prairie Planning District would recommend conditional approval of the subdivision application with the condition that a variation of the side yard lot requirement of 7.6 meters down to 4.6 meters to be applied for on proposed Lot 2. Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure requests water management. All other departments, agencies had no comments or concerns. And Community and Regional Planning recommends approval of the subdivision subject to the conditions of the approval. The conditions are that proposed Lot 1 be rezoned from AL to RR, or Rural Residential Zone. Secondly, that a variance order be obtained, reducing the minimum required site area of the proposed lot from 80,937, which was the requirement back in the planning bylaw. Reduce it down to 48,000 square meters, and that a variance order be obtained, reducing the minimum required side area of the proposed Lot 2 from 7.6 meters to 4.6 meters. And you can see that in the drawing. And that a declaration of right-of-way be obtained for the driveway, providing shared access for both proposed lots. The City Administration also recommends the following: that any water service to Lot 2 will require a connection permit approval from the City of Portage la Prairie. So there are quite a number of subjectivities. With that said, it's a recommended resolution, and I so move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the subdivision being Lot 1, Plan 1809, PLTO in River Lot 107, Parish of Portage la Prairie, subject to the 4 conditions that I already declared, and that any water service to Lot 2 will require a connection permit approval from the City of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. Questions or comments? Councillor Meyer?
Sorry, thank you. Just to make your decision, Council, I just needed a clarification, and it's a simple clarification. On page 2 in the development plan, it talks about the proposed subdivision, sorry, that's on page 2, so I'm guessing this is probably a question of the planning district. The proposed subdivision is located with an area designated as rural residential. So if it's already, again, sorry, I'm just trying to understand the correlation here. It's it says it's in an area already as rural residential, yet it's in an area, the proposed subdivision is and then down under the zoning bylaw, the proposed subdivision is located within an area that is currently zoned limited agricultural zone. I'm just confused as to why it says it's in 2 different areas at this point, or is that just and it's just a clarification I'm looking for.
Mr. Gessel, do you understand the question?
Sorry, Mr. Kessler.
Oh, Ms. Lequi-Jobin?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I think what it's saying is the area around there, most of the land in that area is residential, like that area. But this specific parcel is zoned agricultural, but it is in a residential area.
Oh, okay, so the area surrounding, sorry, just so I'm clear, the area surrounding Lot 1 and Lot 2 is currently zoned rural residential.
Sort of. It's not all, like there's
Okay.
there's different zonings within that area, but it is in a residential area.
Got it. But Lot 1 and Lot 2 are currently in limited agricultural zone?
Yes.
Okay. And that's why the variances are required for the site in order to change it to rural residential for Lot 1 and keep an AL in Lot 2.
That's right.
Got it. I think I'm clear on that now, Your Worship. Thank you.
Any other questions? So maybe we know this is the purpose of this for sale? Is this why they're planning on doing this?
We can't say for sure, honestly, but there are for sale signs on the property, but we don't know the details.
And so this one's just a little bit confusing for me. And so the Lot 1 would turn into residential, is that correct?
Yes. Okay. That would be on this one, they're just asking for the subdivision and but that the requirements we would have that they need to rezone.
And then they need to rezone.
Right.
So just to subdivide, okay. Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Worship. I'm never going to base anything on assumption, and I can't read what the applicant's mind is, but if it ever was for sale, it makes sense to split the 2 pieces up, one so that you can maintain a residential property and the other one that you can maintain orchard or limited agriculture, which there is a currently orchard. So the sale process makes sense, although I have no idea or any assumptions that that's what the applicant intends to do, other than as Director of Operations, Ms. Jobin says, there are for sale signs up there. So it could be a factor.
Gotcha. Okay. All those in favor? And that is carried. I'm abstaining, in case you wondered. Thank you. You usually ask if I voted, so good. Excellent. Okay. Next item of new business, the first reading of traffic bylaw 25-8784. Councillor Porter.
Thank you, Your Worship. As this is first reading, I'm not going to go through the whole bylaw, but I will go through the first part of the report here, and it is with regards to traffic bylaw 25-8784. And so the issue is to approve the traffic bylaw 25-8784, therefore for repealing traffic bylaw 28-705. And so the background on it is that the city management team reviewed the existing traffic bylaw and feedback received from the stakeholders to identify areas for improvement. In addition to minor amendments to reflect current practices and updated wording, The following are the key changes presented to council. Loading zones. Add loading zone at 1746 Saskatchewan Avenue West on the north side. Loading zones, add loading zone at 36 2nd Street Southwest on the east side. Time-limited parking. Add time-limited parking on Saskatchewan Avenue West between 6th Street West and 7th Street West, north side. Add time-limited parking on Saskatchewan Avenue West between 11th Street West and 20th Street West, both sides. Added time-limited parking on 3rd Street Southwest between Saskatchewan Avenue and Dufferin Avenue, east side. And added time-limited parking on Dufferin Avenue between 2nd Street Southwest and 4th Street Southwest on the south side. No parking. Extending the no parking area on the east side of Royal Road from Fisher Avenue to Lorne Avenue. And eliminating block face parking for enforcement purposes. Formally separate the 3 parking lots so they will no longer be treated as one parking lot for enforcement purposes. So all be separated. Include references and provisions for bicycle lanes, and vehicles will not be allowed to park on any portion of the street on a business day prior to residential garbage collection day, and previous it was the day after. So now it's going to be on the business day prior to residential garbage collection. So looking down the line there, our alternatives are either to proceed with the first reading of the traffic bylaw 258784 or any other direction of council may provide. So this will be all coming up at our next council meeting.
You do first reading today.
First reading? Oh, okay. So I will recommend that the council of the city of Portage la Prairie approve the traffic bylaw 258784 by giving it first reading.
Moved by Councillor Porter, seconded by Councillor Espy. Any questions or comments? Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Your Worship. I know it's going to come back. It's going to go out to obviously to the public now, and it'll come back in 2 weeks for second and third reading or any changes in between there. I just had one quick question of clarification if somebody was to ask. Vehicles not be allowed to park on any portion of the street on the business day prior to residential garbage collection day, where previously it was the day after. I'm just wondering if we have the rationale onto why that change was there.
I can tell you, because if many people have paid attention, there's a lot of residents in this city are worried about those garbage cans and how they're going to get done if we don't move the snow. So that's what operations and talking with the contractors is the best thing, is to have the snow moved before, so that on garbage day, our new beautiful garbage cans will be easily dealt with.
So just to clarify, it's because the cycle for snow clearing is going to be moved to the day before pickup than the day after.
That's right, and it is going to take us a lot of communication to help people understand that, but we absolutely, I would say that operations and administration listen to the citizens on their concern on this one, because we've heard a lot of it.
Absolutely agree. And again, I think it's important that obviously the citizens know that, and I think the media will pick up on that and get that message out there. Thank you, Your Worship.
Once it's passed, let's make sure it's
once
passed
and if it's
before.
passed. Sorry,
Yeah.
once and if it's passed.
We don't want both of them until
just
it's
first
passed.
reading.
Yeah, exactly. Did anyone else have any questions? Councillor Doyle?
With regards to this, thank you, Your Worship. With regards to the same point there, I understand now that it's with regards to snow clearing, but will that be running the full 12-month cycle with the no vehicles parking on the street? And does it apply to all residential streets?
It's in the snow clearing cycle, right? So when there's, right? Or is it all year? Or because it's street sweeping too?
No, and the bylaw actually starts November 1st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep, perfect. And I have some other comments, but I'll save it for the second reading. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say that I'm very excited to see this on the agenda today. It has been something that we've been talking about for a long time. I can say it's been something that we talk about at our Chamber of Commerce meetings, is this bylaw when it comes to traffic, etc. We did know that this was coming, and we didn't want to see big changes to the bylaw until our Saskatchewan Avenue project was finished. I know there has been lots of communication with businesses along the avenue for these changes. Some of the things I think are really positive in this. The block face change, it's been very difficult for people since it was in place. It was a hard thing for people to understand. Probably very hard for our city team and city hall to explain to people as well. So I think that that's a positive change that people will like. And then just also being very thoughtful on where we have the time limited parking, which means 2-hour parking, sometimes 3-hour depending. And until today, or till recently, I didn't realize how those 3 parking lots were actually considered the same thing under our old bylaw, because I may have told people to just move to another parking lot. So I'm glad to have that clarified. Maybe I have some people's parking tickets that I need to pay. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's very good to see. Okay, all those in favor? And that is carried. We look forward to hearing community comments on this. And we have no items of old business. We will adjourn council at 7:24 and move right into committee. We'll call committee to order at 7:24. Finance, Legislative, and Property Committee, Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Worship and colleagues. For committee this evening, Finance is bringing forward for your consideration the date of the tax sale for 2026. This is an annual thing that we have been through before to set these dates. This is for your consideration at the next council meeting, but the date being recommended is September 22, 2026. So we'll deal with that at the next council meeting.
Thank you. Any questions on that? No? City Planning and Economic Development, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I just have one thing to bring up during committee tonight, and it just regards the chamber. I do know that Councillor Massey and, of course, Madam Mayor sit on our chamber meetings. It does fall underneath my portfolio. Although I want to just take this opportunity to just to recognize the Portage and District Chamber of Commerce. I think people know how I feel about that organization and the strength that they bring to our business community, and the work that they've certainly done in the past, and how their lobbying efforts are going as well. I just want to say the executive director, Stephanie Dunn, was in Toronto last week, not only for the Canadian Chamber of Commerce annual meeting, but they also received an award as the originally the Board of Trade, operating as the Portage la Prairie District Chamber of Commerce, were one of the founding members 100 years ago at the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, and they received, actually, she showed me the medal. It was kind of like a big medal. I guess that's what a medal looks like. Anyways, it's pretty cool that our community was part of that founding Canadian Chamber of Commerce 100 years ago. And I just want to congratulate them on that and really appreciate the effort that they do to keep that organization going, and more importantly, the value that they bring not only to our community, but to our business citizens as well. Thank you, Your Worship.
Excellent. Thank you. And we should say they're still accepting nominations for their business awards coming up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? They've got the Choice of the Year award. It's just the People's Choice, which
People's
is
Choice.
probably one of the best. Sorry, I get carried away when I start talking about it, Your Worship. But if people can recognize that, if I know the media's gotten that out already, but it's just your choice of the best business and that in our community, and I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to that category. Thank you, Your Worship.
Love it. Thank you. Community Services Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. I personally don't have anything to report, but I will call upon two of my colleagues, and we'll start with Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship, and Councillor Espy. I just want to give an update to Council on a couple of events in our city since since the last council meeting. The first one was a very exciting one, and that was the official opening of the accessible swing on Island Park. Thanks to Kim Wickdahl and her group, they've done an incredible job. And I want to thank Councillors Porter, Meyer, and Espy for attending that. Our mayor was a little under the weather, but was there in spirit. I felt it when I was speaking, and how excited she was for that as well. So great project, great community effort. Second item, I don't know if it's to report on this, but I know Mayor Knox has done this tour of City Hall. I had the opportunity to do one with a group from families from the Family Resource Center, and I can tell you the most exciting thing. Those little kids were excited. They came to the council chamber, sat in the mayor's chair. It was but the other thing is they got to wear the mayor's medal. And I'll tell you, we got some great pictures, but it was something new for me to do. I was very proud to do it. And I know the mayor has done these before. I think it's great to celebrate our City Hall with young people. The more we can engage them, that we work for them, and this is their place. So it was great. I attended the graduation for the pilot's graduation. I know a number of us have done that in the past, and was pleased to present the Portage Award this time to an individual, a young man, Graham McIntosh. So it's for community service and those type of things. So he got that award. Always a great event for those of you who've been to it. I attended a Hospital Foundation board meeting recently. The only thing I'll say at this point is the gala is October 24th. I know the city will be there. And the live auction, the auction is now live on the website. And please have a look out there. There's going to be some interesting items. There'll be a live auction at the gala. I think Councillor Doyle has already bid on 10 items already, car washes and things, and hamburgers for a year or something. I don't know. It sounds like you, Councillor Doyle. It really does. But please, that's going to be a great event. It's sold out, which no surprise. It's one of the big events of the year. You heard about Communities in Bloom. Nothing more to be said on that, I think, other than congratulations to our Communities in Bloom group. I attended the 50th anniversary residential school, the reunion for residential school survivors at the residential school, and that was quite an event. And I must say, I did not speak, but I attended on behalf of the city, and it was a very moving event. The survivors, some of them hadn't seen one another for 50 years and more. To see them come back and that whole event, it was just for me a very moving experience to be at that event. So I was very pleased to represent council there. And recently, I also attended the Diwali celebration in our community here the other night. It was a great event, and I was just very pleased to bring greetings from mayor and council. And it's no secret, our city is changing. It is incredible to see the people there and the different faces. And these are people we run into in business. I said to them, a lot of them, I see you on walks along the lake. You see, just the city of Portage is really diverse now and starting to become more and more. So it's great to see, and they are wonderful people. It was a great celebration. And lastly, I attended on September 30th course, a couple of things. The Métis Federation had an event here in Vopney Park. I was pleased to be there. And I want to congratulate our mayor, who received a very high honor, was the Métis Sash, is that what it's called? From the Métis Federation. It was quite an honor, and I saw the look on her face, and it was a surprise to her, so well done, and for her commitment to the issues that they are very concerned about, and to making our city a very inclusive city, which I think goes a long way for them. And we then went down to City Hall and did our walk. I believe Mayor Knox, Councillor Porter, and Councillor Meyer were there, and we walked to the Residential School Museum, and that was a very great event. Got to talk to people, walked along their beautiful lake, and people do care about our lake. I got a lot of comments about it. So those are just some of the events. We did go to the other place. That was the Dakota TP
Health Center.
Health Center. After Mayor Knox and I attended, I don't know if others had a chance to go and see the beautiful office on Tupper and some of the services that they deliver. So all in all, it was a busy time as deputy mayor, but I was pleased to be at those events. So thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Espy?
Thank you, Your Worship. And secondly, I'd like to call upon Councillor Meyer.
Aren't those the reasons you love our community? I'll tell you, there's just so much stuff going on. Just on behalf of the Public Art Committee, and just a real quick retrospect, the Public Art Committee was formed as an arm of Committee of the City of Portage la Prairie back a number of years ago. Through this council's decision, they decided to disband the actual committee and bring it in-house, which certainly was a great decision. With that said, there was just some closing comments that I wanted to make. Now that the projects that this Public Art Committee had done, I was so proud of the work they did and so proud to be able to be on that board for the number of years that it was. Took us a while to get to where we needed to get to, but in partnership with the Parks Committee and at Simplot Public Park, we did unveil a monument back about, I'm going to say probably 4 months ago, I think it was, and it was called the Eagle Arc, and it is the Eagle Arc Monument. It's about 28.5 feet tall. You won't miss it when you see it. We comment about, hey, I'll meet you under the Eagle Arc, so it's kind of become a bit of a gathering place as well. One of the last responsibilities of the committee was to put up the signage. It took a while to get there. We wanted to do it out of respect and in dedication to truth and reconciliation. Those signs are up there now. If you hadn't had a chance to get there, the project is complete and the signs look absolutely amazing. Out of respect, I just wanted to take 1 minute and just read exactly what they say, if that's okay, Your Worship. Obviously get around there and have a look at it yourself. So it says right now, Eagle Arc, Kevin McKenzie, 2024. Created for the City of Portage la Prairie in dedication to truth and reconciliation. The viewer is encouraged to experience the sculpture in the round. This monumental structure will guide the viewer to experience the four sacred directions. The sun plays an important role as it traverses the sky. The shadows and reflections on the planes of the structure constantly change and morph, speaking to our imagination. Eagle Arc is both abstract and figurative in nature. The subtraction, and you'll see the cutouts that are in there, represents the eagle through an arc of lightning. The scale of the monument is vital as it connects us to the land, the sky, and the Creator. Ultimately, this monument serves as a beacon, leading the community of Portage la Prairie on a path of healing in conversation with truth and reconciliation. Commissioned by the Portage Public Art Committee and fabrication by CanSteel Manufacturing Inc. in Brandon, Manitoba. It's also there in Cree. I'm not going to attempt to read that out of respect, Your Worship, and it also shows the syllabics as well. So if you haven't had a chance, I do know the Chamber is going to put out a press release, so for the media, you'll receive that separately from tonight's. I just wanted to make sure that I got mentioned, or that we mentioned it. In addition to, just wanted to congratulate, now that everything is done, and not to belabor it, but just really want to congratulate the Public Art Committee for the work that they did do. Public art is an important aspect and an important piece of the puzzle in our community, and they worked extremely hard creating some of the things that they created at this time. And it kind of was born out of the Portage Beautification Committee, and that's where the original dollars came from. So just kind of on behalf of the committee, I just want to congratulate our chair, which was Stephanie Dunn, who represented the Chamber of Commerce. Roberta Christensen, who everybody knows Roberta as she was past chair, but she was also just a patron of the arts and one of the best resources that you could ever have around there. Our own executive director of PCRC, Mary Kozar, was on there. I was fortunate enough to represent the City of Portage la Prairie, and at that time, the executive director of Prairie Fusion Arts and Entertainment, Lorna Knight. So this was the remainder of the committee upon closing, and I just want to remember them forever. In the facts and the work that they've done up until this point. So with that said, thank you, Your Worship, and on behalf of the Public Art Committee, we're out of here.
Thank you. And yes, thank you to all the work of that committee, and go check out the new signage. Councillor Espy, is that all?
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Waterworks Committee, Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. Waterworks Committee has nothing for committee this evening.
Thank you. Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. Transportation has nothing to report. The only thing I would like to maybe mention is that we have possibly 2 more weeks left of yard waste. And so get those bags out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Public Safety Committee has nothing to report this evening, but if I could have the opportunity to chat briefly about some updates with AMM.
Sure.
Yeah. So just under 2 weeks ago, our city manager, Nicole Chakota, and I went to the AMM lobby days. Of course, that's with my role as central director with AMM and Ms. Chakota's role as president of MMA. And we spent 24 hours. It was a bit of a whirlwind in various meetings and functions. We got to spend time with Premier Canoe and the NDP caucus, and followed by dinner with Minister Simard, who is the Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations. The following morning, we met with Abi Khan, leader of the opposition, and the members of the PC caucus as well. And then we got to have lunch with the deputy ministers in our province here. And so from AMM's standpoint, we just focused on 4 key points. One of them being municipal funding, predictability, escalator, et cetera. Physical infrastructure. I mean, we talk about it every day, water, wastewater facilities and funding that needs to be attached to that. Another one was social infrastructure, healthcare, recruitment, paramedic recruitment, et cetera. And then, of course, public safety and stricter bail conditions and conditional release policies for prolific repeat offenders. There's a lot more to that, and I just want to stress that these were casual conversations in casual settings. We weren't looking for any promises. These were just relationship building with all parties involved, because you always have to, as AMM, you always have to work with the party, with all parties, especially the one that's in power, and we all know that can change on a bit of a moment's notice. So just a little update from AMM, and we're looking forward to our conference coming at the end of November, so the end of next month. And I know a lot of council will be attending that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the conference looks like from the other side.
Yeah.
So, and that's all I have this evening.
Excellent. Thank you. I would like to thank Deputy Mayor Massey for filling in when I couldn't be at things. I appreciate it. You always do such a great job of that. I have to give a special shout out to Councillor Doyle, who I have a hard time saying no to things, and so when I get an email of will you be in a dunk tank, I say yes. Then I happen to be sick. No, just kidding. But I was sick, and I appreciated Councillor Doyle filling in. And I heard from the temperature, I might be glad I was sick. So thank you so much for that. So important. Yeah.
I don't have the social life that Councillor Massey does, but I did get to go in the dunk tank.
That's
so
right,
I'll take that as a win.
Just a couple of other things is that I think it was really important during Truth and Reconciliation Week that our city, some of our administrative team and council were able to participate in a ribbon making workshop with the Friendship Center. Just an important time to learn about it and move forward in that. So I think everybody had a great time, so we thank them for that. I had the opportunity, was invited to speak at the University Women's Club in Winnipeg, which I wasn't too familiar with before that, but it was an excellent time to talk about being a woman in leadership, and at the same time I got to talk about all the wonderful things happening in Portage la Prairie, so that was pretty special. We also had a very important meeting last week that sometimes I always wonder, what are we going to talk about in these meetings? But we had our joint meeting with the city, the RM, and the school division. And I think it was a really great opportunity for us to talk about what our own perspective is on things, but really find out how we can work together in moving our community forward. And also, we know that education is so important, and being able to support the school division on some of what they're doing, I think, is important. So it was a great turnout and great discussion. And then coming up, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. We have our SETI workshop tomorrow, which is important. And next week on the, what was I going to say? Something that's happening next week. Somebody remind me. No, something. Oh, I know. The new McDonald's ribbon cutting. So that's exciting. People are very excited. Okay, we will adjourn our committee at 7:42. Thanks, everyone.